You might have heard that Windows operating systems have a habit of alternating between big hits like Windows XP and huge misses like Windows 8. And today we'll be touching on one of the most well-known disappointments of them all, Windows Vista. So why was XP so hard to follow? And what's made Vista so infamous as one of Microsoft's biggest ever failures? Here's how it happened. For starters, maybe it was inevitable that Vista would flop due to the public's unrealistically high expectations. Vista's predecessor, Windows XP, had launched in 2001, becoming the world's most popular and widely used operating system and successfully unifying the powerful driver support from the Windows 90s range with the reliability of the business-focused Windows NT line. Naturally, consumers were expecting another impressive upgrade when Vista rolled around 5 years later, but a few hiccups in the development phase meant these expectations were never fully realized. For example, Vista was pioneering a new visual theme known as Aero, with glass-like panes, a 3D view of open tabs, and windows that would snap together to make the most of available screen space. While this might sound appealing, the interface was thirsty for computing power and slowed Vista down significantly, and the same could be said for several other aspects of the OS, as Microsoft became too interested in adding as many features as possible instead of focusing on what customers wanted to use day to day, widely known as a software bloat. The knock-on effect of the bloat was that Vista drained the battery power of laptops much quicker than XP, causing them to overheat more often and losing out on speed tests conducted by independent reviewers. And what also slowed things down was the boosted safety features of Vista. Windows' reputation for security had taken a hit from a malware attack known as Blaster in 2003, so in response, the company put cybersecurity at the forefront of its latest OS. The result was user account control asking if you're sure you want to allow changes every time you made a download, a tedious procedure that inspired an ad for Apple's Mac at the expense of its Microsoft rival. The other big issue was Vista's compatibility and hardware requirements. On release, hardware companies started selling computers that barely met the OS's minimum requirements, papering over the cracks with a sticker that said compatible with Windows Vista and leaving millions of customers with slow machines that underperformed on the most basic tasks. And many drivers for customers' favorite programs became obsolete with Vista, which hardware producers sought to capitalize on and invite upgrades for equipment like printers and scanners that were only a few years old. Hardly Microsoft's fault, but it was fairly predictable with the total rewrite that took place after Windows XP. Even 3 years after Vista's release, it accounted for 400 million of all operating systems in use, still a way behind XP's 1.2 billion, and the arrival of Windows 7 served as a direct replacement for many of these users, ironing out the teething problems of Vista, managing to run faster than its predecessor while consuming less space on your hard drive. Overall, 7 was well received and became a welcome successor to Vista. Comment below with your favorite Microsoft product and what you'd like us to talk about next. Thanks for watching.